Hello everybody, welcome to my channel if you're new, welcome back if you're returning. Today we have Anna here for some fall nails, and this is she sent me 3 inspo pictures. She said she liked the leaves and glitter and colors in this one, and I'm just showing you some of the things I picked out to use. And in this set she said she liked the black nail with the fall glitter, and the next set that I have here in the picture is she just said she liked these colors, the gold and burgundy. And then after that, she told me her shape and we chose her length, and then I was able to freestyle after that, which was super cool. So just letting you guys watch some of the things I'm picking up and doing as we get into her prep. So I cleaned off her nails with some swipe, and then I trimmed her free edge, and I'm just going to shape them a little bit. I just do this because it's just aesthetically pleasing to me. I don't really know if there's a reason for it. And I'm going to push back the cuticles. I didn't end up using the pink fall leaves. I had them in one of the nails and she didn't really care for them, so I took them off. I'm going in with a ball bit on speed 8 on my e-file, and this is not for the nail plate. This is just for all the skin and dead tissue around the nail plate. So I keep this up at a higher speed because it is for buffing and it is not for the nail plate. So I'm just going to go around and get all the dead skin off and buff out some of the cuticle. And I love using this bit. I like doing it first now. I used to kind of do it third or last, but I notice when I do this, you see how it leaves some, it pulls back the cuticle area and leaves some exposed cuticle on the nail plate. Well, after this step, I would have to go back in and use a sanding band or this bit to remove that. So I started doing the ball bit first. This is a Acrylic medium barrel bit. I have my e-file down to a speed of 3 for this step, and I'm just going to go around her nail plate and get all the stuff out of the crevices. And after this, I'm going to take a sanding band and I'm going to take the shine off of her natural nail, and I'm going to take my e-file down to a speed of 2 for that. Just because this e-file is powerful, it doesn't need to be on a 4 for that kind of prep. It just needs to be on a 2. So that's what's coming up next. Sorry for that abrupt cutoff, but I was telling you guys about the not polished mystery boxes and my code and everything, but they actually reached out to me and said that codes can't be used for mystery boxes, but to try it anyway because sometimes the website lets you. So I had to delete part of my voiceover if it jumps on and off here. That's what that was about. And I was just explaining to you guys what colors I was using and how awesome not polish is. But you guys already saw what colors I'm using and already know how I feel about them. So I'll jump back in when I get to the next step. So anyway, after the sanding band, I didn't show it. I think I just didn't know I wasn't recording, but I go in with some swipe and clean up her nail beds really good. And then I put on her tips, which are those not polished tips that I had in the background. They are double XL no C-curve coffins. And I did not have it on camera when I got her length and prep and everything. So sorry about that, but this is the primer I'm talking about. Go get some if you don't have it. So yeah, after I got her tips on, I used some swipe again. You can see that's why her skin around the nail is all dry looking. So her nails are dehydrated and cleansed, and I'm going in with some primer that I'm only putting on the natural nail. This is, again, the Acrylic primer. I'm using Acrylic monomer. And it's just because that's what I can get at my local nail supply. So young nails, not polished, and Acrylic are my favorite monomers. But I can get the Young Nails monomer at my local nail supply for $150 a gallon, which they literally sell it for $160 on their website before tax and before shipping. So it's just a great deal. So that's mostly what I use. But I also love the other two I mentioned, Not Polish and Young Nails. So I did go in with a small bead of clear, Kiara Sky Clear on the natural nail to blend the tip, protect her nail, and leave a clear layer for us to get down to the next time I do a fill. This is the French Kiss from Not Polish, and you can see, even though this is a highly pigmented color, there's zero marbling. It's extremely buttery. It does exactly what I want it to do. It just works like magic. This is just my favorite stuff. You can see by the consistency that it's just amazing. Just amazing. It just makes me want to do nails again just watching this. And I am using a size 8 Kiara Sky brush. I do have a Not Polish 8 that I just keep forgetting to use because I also love it. And I haven't been able to get it like flat like this one. You guys know I like that tiny little Young Nails one. I've been getting away from that and been using this more. And the more I use it, the more flattened out it's getting and the more stiff it's getting, because I had told you guys before, I need a brush that doesn't have much give. I want to be able to sculpt nails with my brush, not just like baby pat it, if that makes sense. Because I like my beads thicker and meatier, and so I need a brush that can manipulate a bead. And I noticed after I started using this brush more, it just flattened out more, and it's just doing it. It's doing a great job. So my 2 Not Polished brushes that I have that are both size 8s that I just keep not using because I think they're the same as this one or they're not my Young Nails brush. Yeah, I'm going to start getting into that. So you guys are going to see me using those more on my channel. So I'm going in with this French Kiss on the thumb. I'm just doing half the nail and blending in the top because I'm going to be doing an ombre with that chisel color I showed you guys. It was a nude that literally perfectly matched her nail bed and her skin tone. And I love chisel. I just don't use it too much because I always just reach for my Not Polish. But chisel is the closest acrylic that I have ever found in all the tons of stuff that I've bought. You guys ask me. I've bought it. I've tried it. Just ask me in the comments. I'll tell you what I've bought. Just everything. And chisel is the closest in performance to Not Polish that I've ever found. One thing I did forget because I don't use it often is that it does dry a little bit faster. So you'll see on my first bead or two of the ombre that it dries on me. So I just have to go in and fix that a little bit. But there's a fix for everything when you're doing nails, so I wasn't worried about it. But I am flattening out the second bead, this one here and the one I just showed you on the other nail, just a little bit at the top so that I can do an ombre. So you guys, I've mentioned before, I live pretty close to a really large hospital here in town. So sometimes out of the blue, a helicopter or an ambulance will light up and ruin my voiceover. So I'm sorry if you guys heard that. I tried to clip it off. But here I am going with this chisel. Isn't this a beautiful color? I absolutely love this nude. I did show it in the beginning. I can't remember what it's called now. OM14 or B14 or something like that. Their colors are labeled like this. Neon 1 or OM A14, OM B14. And what that means is that they've come up with what colors they think ombre well together. So OMA14 and OMB14 are supposed to go good together. And then they also have natural colors. And then some of them, none of them are labeled with names like we're used to seeing acrylics like French Kiss or High Maintenance like the ones I'm using here. They're a more numbered system. So it's usually a combination of letters and numbers unless you're using like the neons or the glitters or something. So yeah, I did show that in the beginning. And I love this color. And I'm going to show you guys both hands. I'm going to show you guys all the filing. So I do have things sped up. This application is sped up 1.5 times because the video was already 45 minutes. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit different. I wanted to give you more of a full look of what I do. I wanted to give you guys both hands, and I wanted to give you guys more filing. Because for me, I always was able to apply acrylic. Of course, I get better over time. I'm still learning. I think we all still go through a learning process no matter how long we've been doing nails. But for me, shaping was it. Shaping was when my game started getting better after I was, like I said, we always learn acrylic. I think I learned something new almost every day. I saw something on a channel the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so interesting. You know, you can learn new things all the time. Just like that right there, how I put that tiny little red bead at the bottom of my ombre. If your ombre goes down too far, you can just put a super wet bead, a small wet bead on the tip of your nail and just pat it a little bit until it kind of bleeds out, and it will darken your ombre back up, your bottom color ombre back up, so you don't have to keep applying or filing or anything. That's a little trick I learned. But anyway, we're always learning. I'm always learning. But shaping, I mean, oh my gosh, you can do the heck out of some nails, but if you don't have your shaping down, and I still don't have my shaping down. I still have a lot of work to do myself. But it always helped me to just watch other people's shaping habits, because it just offers you tips and help. So I thought I'd keep that in there. So here I am again doing a black set close to the cuticle. This time I wasn't sweating it. I wasn't worried about it. And since I took the pressure off myself, it wasn't so bad. So someone mentioned in the comments, I think it was Kate, that I was probably freaking myself out and doing it to myself because it had never been an issue. And if you guys are new here, what I'm talking about is, I'd say at least the last 5 sets I've done where I've had to use black acrylic, I've just done a really poor job of it near the cuticle and really, worried myself into not being able to do it correctly. So anyway, I think that is what it was, because this was not that hard. So, and I had a specific look in mind when I was doing these nails, the ring and index, and it wasn't an ombre, and it wasn't a fade either, because I was going to bring the fall leaves up onto the black. So I need to have an apex here, because this is the only colored acrylic that's going to be on the nail. And I need it to come to a certain length. I wanted it to cover her natural nail. And I just wanted it to go to there, but I didn't want it to be an ombre. On one of them, I do pull it down, and it gives it a very, very sheer black look toward the tip, which actually ended up looking good, but that wasn't what I was going for. So you'll just see me like adding little pieces and piecework going in there. And I wanted you guys to notice, I might show it in my next video, but do you notice how I was just able to pick up a clear bead here right after working with black? I didn't change my monomer or my brush or anything. And that is because I non-stop, constantly, every single time you see me pull my hand away right there, every single time you see me pull my brush away from the nail, I'm wiping it on my towel. Before it goes in my monomer, after my nail, before my nail, wipe. And then I flip over my table towel. So always keep a relatively clean table towel and wipe your brush literally after every step. As soon as your brush starts, you can tell when you need to get it wet again with monomer, right? And you can tell when you need to wipe it. Well, before you do both, before you put your brush in your monomer, wipe it on your towel. And you can see my monomer dish over there. Even after I use the glitter, it's not dirty. My towel is, but my monomer isn't. And that helps you not get your brush dirty, and it helps you not get your nails dirty or ruin a set. It helps you keep your monomer clean and not waste it. So just get in the habit of, every time you pull your brush away from the nail, tap your napkin, tap your monomer, tap your napkin, tap your monomer, tap your nail, tap your napkin. Just keep always touching your table towel every time you pull your brush away from the monomer and away from the nail. It should be where you stop with your brush every time, and it should be muscle memory. I think I definitely will. Yeah, I definitely will the next video zoom out and maybe speed it up so it's not monotonous or boring for you guys, but show you my muscle memory and how I do that. So maybe verbally explaining it isn't the best. Maybe a visual look at what I'm talking about might be a little bit better. So I'm taking these fall leaves. Initially I had some pink and silver, and then the typical rust and brown and gold fall leaves. I had 2 sets. And she liked them when I showed them to her, but once I put the silver and pink down, she kind of changed her mind. Pardon me. She said the pink was okay, but she didn't really want any silver. She wanted them to be primarily gold. So you'll see me come in and remove this silver one that I'm putting on. And then I just, after she said she didn't want the silver, I just decided to not use the pink and silver at all and to just use the container that had the red, brown, and gold. So I do cover up that little pink one that's still encapsulated that I wasn't able to get out, up with a red one. So if you see me kind of going back and doing that, that's what I was doing. She liked the pink and so did I, but there was literally one pink one on the nail and I just decided not to add anymore, not to use that, just because let's just keep it all one color, number one, and number two. I didn't want to have to try to pick through those to only get out the pink, because there were a couple different colored pinks too as well. So I figured if I'm just not going to use some of it, I'm just not going to use all of it, make it easier, you know. So I'm going to be adding these glitters to the nail. I like to add them, you know, I'll put down one layer and stick them on with clear, either a clear bead below them or clear bead on top of them. I like to make or put the whatever glitter pieces I'm encapsulating, not loose glitter, but glitter pieces like this, like a ghost or a leaf like this, hearts, butterflies, whatever. I like to put them a few on each nail, like in their own individual bead or at a different angle than the rest or in a different layer, because it gives the nail dimension. It makes it look like they're floating. So I'll usually put down like one pretty flat layer on almost no acrylic, and then I'll start building up and adding more. And each one that I do add, I'll try to like encapsulate it in its own little bead, if that makes sense. And sorry if that sounded a little funny. I got a phone call and that kind of stopped me in my sentence and I had to go back. So I also wanted, if you go back to the inspo picture, or if you've seen nails like this before, it's not really a fade and it's not really an ombre. It's just that there is some black on the nail covering the natural nail, and the rest of the nail is clear with the leaves. So the leaves go on top of the black. The black doesn't go on top of the leaves like a typical like glitter ombre. So that's what we're doing here. And I didn't do the nails matte. She works at Starbucks, so her hands are... And also, they're not really allowed to wear nails at Starbucks, and definitely not this long. But she couldn't stand it anymore and wanted nails, so... hey, she can come get them shaved down if she wants to or not, but I thought this set was really, really good looking. And so right here, I'm just going to encapsulate them, and then I'm going to do a full glitter nail on the pinky and a glitter and red ombre on the middle. And let's see, what else do I have to tell you guys? Oh, yeah, that's what I was letting you know. A couple of things in the video are in real time. The rest is sped up 1.5 times. Some of it's sped up 2 times. But if you guys want to see real-time application, I have it all over my channel. But for this video, I wanted to get more things in the video, so I just have it sped up just a little bit. But I'm going to let you guys watch. If I see something else, I'll jump back on. Okay, so this nail was almost out of frame and kind of, so I kept this in anyway because I wanted you guys to see how buttery this was. I just love all their acrylics, but a lot of times you'll get a glitter acrylic, especially a really chunky one like this, and it's just not buttery. Yes, there's clear acrylic in it, but it's not buttery. I don't know how to describe it. It's like jellyish. Yeah, kind of like jellyish. This isn't. This performs the same way their other acrylics do, like you saw the French Kiss. If you guys didn't notice the lusciousness of that, I mean, take the video back. I just want to use a colored acrylic right now, just thinking about the way their beads pick up. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, this, I'm applying a thin layer of this and it goes on super easy. You can see better on this nail, whether you work with it a little thicker or meatier or a little smaller and wetter. It just works great. So this I'm going to put, I did a full nail on the pinky. I'm going to do a half nail here because I'm going to bring the French Kiss as an ombre on this nail. And then I will be capping and into filing. So I'll jump back on that. Okay, so guys, I'm back. Let's see. Yeah, so we're finishing acrylic application here, bada bing, that's the last bead, and I'm gonna go in and start my filing with this medium panda bit I got off Amazon. I'm gonna put my e-file on a speed of 15, which is probably closer to like an 18 on my older file that I use, Melody Susie. So it's going pretty quick, so I barely have to tap the nail. I'm not using any pressure. I'm just setting the bit where it needs to go and letting it do the work. I mean, enough pressure to like hold it on the nail, but not pressure, if that makes sense. So I'm just guiding it and letting it float along the nail. So I'm going to do some shaping. The first thing I like to do is to take the bit underneath the free edge and thin that out and give it a C curve. Some of my clients, including Anna and Jordan, oh gosh, why am I just completely stumped on her name right now? Because I have someone else's name in my head. Shantae, sorry. Do not like a C curve at all, but it's really hard to not give a C curve when you're thinning out a square like this one or a coffin. Now I used coffin tips, but as soon as I snipped off the end, these became square. If you know, you know. So the 3 clients I just listed, they don't like any C curve at all. And I used to strive and try, but you can't encapsulate stuff and not make the nail thick and then not thin out the free edge. So I don't know how to reconcile that. And I have tried before making it thinner on the free edge and then the nail looks misshapen, and I don't know. It's just easiest to thin it out from the bottom. And it's not that I would tell my clients, you can't have what you want, but they end up loving their nails. So I just do what I have to do to get the set. And I've definitely heard other techs say that, like, sometimes you have to compromise on the little things to get what you want. Like, you love your set, okay, well, there's going to be a little C curve. Or, what you're asking for is a little bit unrealistic in this situation, so we're going to give you this instead. Is that okay? Like, that kind of thing. So, I don't know. That's just what I think in my mind. Like, these have to have a C curve. This is how I have to make them. If I were to kind of straighten out the free edge, then I don't know if you can imagine how that would look, but they would have no sidewalls. So, I can't, So I like face that little conundrum each time. But I tell you what, as soon as I thin out that free edge, all the shaping comes together. I used to not be able to get a straight free edge. I would file and hold it at different angles and really make sure my file was straight, crisp up against that edge. And when it's thick there at the free edge, it's just so hard to get it straight. As soon as you thin it out, though, boom. And then you can also start seeing the shape your sidewalls should be. You are able to see as soon as that's thinned out. I don't know why. I am able to anyway. This trick might not be, it might not work for everyone, but as soon as I thin that out, for me, the shape all comes together. Like, I can see where my sidewalls need to be. I can see where the edge of the tip is and where I need to bring my acrylic to, if that's making sense. So yeah, that's the first thing I like to do, and that just kind of gets me started doing what else I need to do. So for this set, what I did was just take my e-file around the edges just for debulking, just the areas that needed to be debulked. Sealed the cuticles and debulked what needed to be debulked, and the rest I'm going to do with a 60/60 hand file. When I have like a thicker set like this with encapsulated stuff, I like to just go in with the 60/60 because it just does the work quicker. Now, the 60/60 does leave more scratches, especially in a clear nail. So I do have to go in with a milder grit, a higher grit, to thin them out, to buff out the scratches, and then I go in with a buffer. So I will, let me see if there's anything I need to say before I jump off. Oh, I think I just showed it, but I really took the e-file into the bottom of one of these nails because I noticed as soon as I thinned out the free edge of the clear nail that I could see, and I knew as soon as I put on top coat that it was going to be like a ledge or a ridge under there where my file stopped. So I took the filing higher up the underside, if that makes sense. I'm sure you saw what I did, but I don't know how to describe it. So that's why I did that, though, because it started looking a little bit 3D, like you could kind of see the ledge, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm also going to file the nail from the client's angle. I'm going to turn her hand around and crisp it up with my Tammy Taylor. And I'm going to use a Tammy Taylor sponge buffer as the last step. I think it's the last step. So I'll jump back on, I think, when we're to top coat. All right, you guys, so here is the sponge buffer I was talking about, and crisping the edges up from the client's point of view that I mentioned. And I'm going to go in with some Not Polish Gloss It, which I just got some new, thank goodness. Look at the thumb, you guys. I wish all the nails looked that good. I think the thumb came out perfect. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go in with some Gloss It, which is a pretty old bottle. It's almost done for. It's still hanging in there, though. And I will open my new one. I think this maybe has like 2 sets left in it. So anyway, you guys, we're coming to the end here. I'm going to put my final pictures and stuff in, and thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit subscribe. It's free. I would love to have you guys here each time. Turn your notifications on. Don't forget to like the video, and I will see you guys next time. I have some unboxings and, well, more watch me work, 'cause I have some clients coming up. And I do put on, obviously, cuticle oil, which I think is going to be Profile's Backstage Sweet V again. I love the dry cuticle oil look. So anyway, you guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.